Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu. In our everyday world, we look out and we see things and we relate to them. And we relate to them as outside of ourselves. So we have we, us, I, and what's outside of ourselves. There's not a unity between ourselves and everything around us. There's a duality. Zikr is a word that means remembrance. It's also pronounced dhikr, depending on the accent. And it consists of the repetition of certain phrases and or names of God, names of Allah. The repetition of these names becomes a chant or a prayer, and it's supposed to accomplish certain things. Now, in Islam, you have 5 times prayer, and prayer is supposed to be with a certain intention and accomplish something. The intention should be to separate yourself from the world for the time that you're doing your prayer and become more unified with existence, so that separation between you and the rest of creation should disappear, and the separation between you and God should disappear. Now, for most people, prayer in the formal fashion is an obligation, and they treat it like an obligation, and the time comes to do it, and they do it, and their obligation is done. Prayer needs to be more than that, and zikr, the remembrance, needs to be more than that. The whole world talks about meditation, and let's try and put a focus on what Sufi meditation would be like and how to do a Sufi meditation. Now, we all know, or at least we've been told a lot, that Sufism is about finding reality through learning the qualities of Allah. And reality is within the qualities of Allah. Everything else is illusory or illusion. It's not real. It's not eternal. The only thing that is eternal is God and God's qualities. Now, Sufistic meditation is an attempt to enter into that reality and to end the duality of our existence. So, how do you do that? Well, pick a name of God, like Rahman. And then sit still. And as you're sitting still, relieve yourself of all of your attachments to the illusory world. Relieve yourself of your anxiety. Relieve yourself of your fear. Relieve yourself of your attachments. Relieve yourself of your needs and desires. Feel complete within yourself to the point where you are without desire and without need. There is no need to defend yourself. There is no need to talk. There is no need to be involved with the world. Then focus on this word Rahman and understand that Rahman is a name of God. Rahman is somehow intermingled with God. The resonance of Rahman is intermingled with Allah. And then close your eyes and repeat, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahman, but not out loud. Silently, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahman. Now, what this does, if you can do all these things, is it detaches you from illusion. It detaches you from the world, and it focuses you on a resonance that is God's name, on a resonance that is without form and attached to Allah. So when you do this without preconception. Do it without imagining where you're going or how you're going. Do it with just the intention that you are dropping your connection to the world and you are waiting to see what Allah has to show you. To put yourself in that space for a period of time every day will cleanse your being. All of the attachments that you have in this world become part of you. And when they are part of you, you are not a real person because you're attached to the illusory. So we have to spend time not attached. If we walk around in need, then we are needy. Allah is not needy. Allah doesn't have needs. If we walk around wanting things, we have desire. Allah doesn't have desire. He is not desirous of things. We need to bring ourselves to the point where desire is gone and where need is gone, where fear is gone, where we are whole within ourselves without the necessity to be attached to something outside of ourselves to give us our identity. And this part's critical because in this world we all attach ourselves to things outside of ourselves that give us our identity. We can't just be. In the Old Testament, God's name is I am that I am. It's not I am that I created, or I am because of this or because of that. He is because he is. We need to let go of all of our attachments and all of our identities and all of our needs and all of our desires so that we can get to that part of us that is real. And we can go to that place where the answer to who am I is relevant. Because if who am I has to do with things outside of yourself, it should be self-evident that it's not who you are. As long as there's a duality in the response to who am I, it's not who you are. So we need to understand that. And that understanding has to become imbued within us, that we are not what's outside of us. We are something else. And what is that? That begins to show itself as all of our attachments fall away from us. And this meditation of the repetition of Allah's name is an assist in having all of the attachments fall away from us. And why does it work? Why does it work where other meditations don't bring you to that place? Because what you're meditating on, Ya Rahman, is real. It's not something that's not real. It's not an imagination. It's not elemental. It's godly vibration. It's a godly name. It's a godly quality. And as we become immersed in that godly name, in that godly quality, in that non-elemental resonance, and we strip away from ourselves all of the attachments that we have in this world, all of the emotions that we have attached to externalities, and we enter into a place of quietude, we can become closer to who we are. And we can begin to know who we are. Now, don't expect that the first time you sit down that everything's going to open up for you. But expect that it will. Have the patience to continue the meditative practice with the faith that in your longing and in your thirst for truth and reality will be opened up to you. And in finding truth and reality, you will find yourself. And the answer to this question of who am I will come to you. But it's going to come to you from inside of you. It's not going to come to you from looking at the world and desiring the world. There are thousands of desires in this creation, but there's only one desire that has a cure, and that's the desire to know God. And in truth, to go on this path, to know him, something has to happen to you. And that is, you have to disappear. You no longer need to have an identity. You no longer have to prop yourself up. You no longer have to give yourself credence. You no longer have to have reasons within the world for your existence. You no longer need titles. You no longer need people to recognize you. The Sufis' great ability is to disappear. And in that disappearance, he finds his truth and he finds his glory. He finds his Lord and he separates himself from what he thought was himself to the reality of himself, to Hak. So, go to that quiet place where there is no interference, where if the telephone rings, you don't hear it, where you don't need to be in front of entertainment, when you don't need things to occupy your time, because reality is sufficient for you. And repeat, Rahman, 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 until Rahman comes and you disappear. As my Sheikh said, when I am here, God is not. And when God is here, I am not. Now, it's easy for us to be in the place of I am here. It's not so easy to be in the place of I am not. And what we have to understand and be really cognizant of is that Allah supersedes us. Allah is greater than us. Allah can envelop us, and we can be enveloped by him to where we disappear, and that our true glory comes in that disappearance. But the world is afraid of that, because they're afraid that if they disappear, they're gone. And the truth is, you're not gone. You're glorious. And would you rather be what you are now, or be glorious? Be ecstatic. Be beyond the elemental and enter into reality. We have to ask ourselves these questions, and then we have to decide what it is we want to do. It's harder to do this when you're younger. It becomes easier to do this as you have more age on you, because you realize, or you should realize, some of the realities of this illusory existence. One of them being that whether you like it or not, you're going to disappear. And it's not really your choice, it's the way things are. So speed the process up and die while you're still conscious in this body, alive. And that's the meaning of to die before death, being the Sufi way of life. We disappear to the world. We disappear to anxiety. We disappear to emotions. We disappear to difficulties. We disappear to needs. We disappear to desires. and we enter into the truth of our Creator, into the truth of reality. And little words repeated like Rahman or Rahim can take you there under the right circumstances. So this is Sufi meditation, to meditate on God's name so that the resonance of God's name overwhelms your being and infiltrates, integrates into your being. So if you can do this, if you can integrate your being into the resonances that come from Allah's name, you will change. You will become real. You'll begin to know what reality is, and all of your neuroses will fall away because you have no need for them, because you no longer have to deal with the world. You don't have to deal with the world because now you know that it's not who you are and it's not reality. So if you can learn this, and if you can begin to do this, change will come. And that change will be very, very positive, very, very fulfilling, and will take you to places you've never imagined, because you can't imagine where those places are. You can just be in those places. So may that come to pass for each of us. May it happen for each of us. Ameen, Ameen. Ya Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.